Last thing I want to talk to you about, be totally remiss if we didn't speak about how vibrant the Miami sports scene is right now. You have the Heat on the way to the playoffs again. You got the Panthers kicking butt in the NHL standings. There's some Argentine kid who's playing for Inter Miami now. You'll have to remind me about his name. You get the Miami Open ATP WTA event coming up. I'm sure I'm missing a few things. Walk us through what are the biggest things right now for Miami sports fans?
It's really the halcyon era of Miami sports, in part because of the Dolphins' resurgence, even though they haven't won a playoff game,
That
despite
NFL team
having
that
the
I
league.
just, conveniently forgot to mention that's been there for
Exactly.
a short
Right. That
stint.
combined with the Miami Heat's improbable run to the NBA Finals last year, and they've got a legitimate team this year. Obviously, people will consider them behind Boston, Milwaukee, maybe Philadelphia if Embiid gets back. With the Panthers, they have the best team in the NHL. And with Messi, obviously a transcendent superstar, they are now on the worldwide globe and microscope because of Messi's presence.
Which is fascinating for me because I don't think a lot of sports fans even knew about Inter Miami, a lot of even North American fans. And to go from almost invisibility to now being one of the most globally recognized teams has just been really interesting to watch.
Absolutely. And Apple's sales, as you know, have spiked for their League Pass package since Messi signed last year. This puts the league in an interesting position because they badly need Messi and Inter Miami to advance far into the playoffs, probably to maximize viewership, to maximize interest, maybe sell more Apple TV packages. So if there are any questionable officiating calls in late season games or even mid-season games involving Inter Miami, you wonder if some will have conspiracy theories about, well, is the league trying to help Messi because it's in the league's best interests, obviously, for Inter Miami to be playing all the way until the end. There's one other quick broadcasting story I wanted to share. What we've seen over the last few months with regard to Kevin Harlan, who does a terrific job doing NFL for CBS and NBA for Turner, and Miami Dolphins fans is a love affair unlike anything that I have seen. Now, over the years, Austin, we've seen many examples. Joe Buck has told stories of this, of fans being convinced that a particular announcer hates their team, fairly or unfairly. And in most cases, it's unjustified. With Harlan, the opposite has happened. Dolphins fans have openly coveted for him to call Dolphins games, not only because they like his work and his enthusiastic call, but also because Miami is 7-0 and has averaged over 35 points per game. And Tua Tagovailoa has been so much better in games called by Kevin Harlan compared to other games that there has been a groundswell of Miami fans lobbying CBS to assign Harlan to more Dolphins games. And I've just never seen such adjuration from a local fan base for a national announcer. I saw Kevin in Denver last week when I was covering a Miami Heat Denver Nuggets game, and he told me that he was unaware that this was going on because he said Vern Lundquist told him years ago, never check social media. You don't know, you do not want to know what people are saying about you. So he said that someone at CBS had told him, what's up with you and Dolphins fans? They absolutely love you. They're clamoring for you to call games. So Kevin told me that he had his daughters, one of whom, as you know, Olivia is in the business, check social media to get to the bottom of it and tell him what Miami fans were saying. And when he learned that he was viewed as a lucky charm, and when he saw that there were hundreds of comments under my tweets, all positive, saying that Harlan was going to do the next Dolphins game, he was flabbergasted. He was honored and he seemed genuinely appreciative and humbled. And Kevin Harlan is a real gentleman in the industry, but he seemed truly humbled about this when I discussed it with him last week. But I think one other takeaway from the story, Austin, is you do have some announcers who are older in their 50s and 60s who intentionally stay off social media because they simply do not want to see any criticism of them. And I know from conversations with Al Michaels in the past, he was aware of everything being said about him, even in the pre-social media era. I think there's some broadcasters now, probably the older ones, who have some discipline to remove themselves from X and other social media platforms just so they don't have to deal with any criticism and have it take up any space in their heads. So I found that part of the story interesting as well.